Coming up on AgWeek TV, we'll tell you about challenges slowing barge shipping on the Mississippi River this season. Some new pests, diseases, and weeds are making their way into the region. We'll tell you what to look out for.
We're at a small town butcher shop that is partnering with a college meat processing program.
And we'll see why more Americans are saying yes to cheese and butter. Welcome to AgWeek TV. I'm Emily Beal. The barge season on the Mississippi River is turning out to be a challenging one. We visited a port where low water levels and high costs are among the factors slowing shipping this fall.
Red Wing Grain buys corn and soybeans from farmers in a 75-mile radius of its southeast Minnesota port on this scenic spot along the Mississippi River.
About 40% of our grain comes from Wisconsin and 60% from Minnesota. And then we offload it on 2 barges, and it goes to the Gulf of Mexico for export.
Shipping on barges is cheaper than by truck or rail because barges can carry much larger loads.
We can load them to 9 feet, so that means there's 3 feet left on the top.
But Jim Larson, the manager of Red Wing Grain, says the year brought about many challenges for shippers and growers.
This was an interesting one for sure. It started out very tight. There wasn't a lot of barges available. Freight was, 2 to 3 to 4 times the normal cost, which in turn affects the farmer.
It will take 3 weeks for a barge to travel from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. From there, the grain heads all over the world. Red Wing Grain ships 25 to 30 million bushels of grain each year, but Larson says this year they're down significantly.
So typically we'll load anywhere from 400 to 600 barges a year, depending on our year end where we end up. But this fall we're probably down 10 to 20% because we're still kind of waiting to see if barge freight will go down, and we're also seeing if there's more barges available at the end of the season.
In addition, water levels are low on the Mississippi and get lower the farther south you go. That's slowing or even stopping barge traffic.
The river goes up and the river goes down, but for the most part it is concerning, and so we definitely need rain to replenish not only the soil for the crops and the farmers, but for the river. And it'd be great to get some rain before we get a hard frost or we get a big snowfall for next spring, because we're definitely at a deficit right now.
Larson says they're fortunate to have enough storage at the Red Wing port to continue accepting grain from farmers, even when they can't get barges. For more on the Mississippi River shipping slowdowns, as well as other timely worldwide ag issues, here's Rose Dunn with a special guest.
Joining me now is NDSU Extension crop economist Frayne Olson to talk about this and some other factors around the world that are affecting markets. First of all, I'm interested to hear more about how the low water levels on the Mississippi are affecting barge traffic.
Yeah, so there's 2 big things that are impacting the flow of grain. First, obviously, the river levels are very low, and so there's obstructions as well as some sandbars that are appearing. So for every one of the barge tows, when a tugboat is pushing the barges, they're shortening those to be able to have more maneuverability, to be able to get around some of these obstructions. And they're not able to load each of the barges as heavily to try and increase the draft, so they're not sitting as low in the water. And as a result, the combination of the shorter tows as well as the fill levels, they're at about a 50% normal capacity.
How is it affecting markets?
We're seeing an increase in movement through the PNW, Pacific Northwest, which of course that has a pretty big impact on what we see here locally. So even though the cost of transportation is increasing, not only barge traffic, but also rail freight, we're not really seeing big changes or shifts in the basis levels, which is, again, fortunate for the farmers up here.
A little bit of light there. Switching gears now, what seemed to be a promising international deal to help Ukraine move about 10 million metric tons of grain out seems to be falling apart now because Russia. What's happening there?
Yeah, so there was an attack on one of the Russian naval bases in Crimea, which is the peninsula that divides Russia from Ukraine. The Russians are claiming that the drones that attacked that naval base came through the corridor that vessels are allowed to be able to ship grain. And so right now, Russia has suspended that agreement. They have not formally withdrawn, but they have suspended the agreement. There's very intense negotiations going on right now to try and see if they can work out some resolution to this to allow additional grain shipments over time.
So how is that affecting markets?
So we've seen quite an increase in wheat prices, because wheat is a large export for both Ukraine and for Russia. That is also spilling over into a little bit of the corn market, so putting some strength into the corn market.
Do you think this suspension will affect spring wheat prices here?
Well, we've already seen some lifting of prices. Again, the entire global wheat complex is at a higher level right now because of limited supply. However, longer term, I'm not sure that it's going to have a big impact on U.S. spring wheat exports. The countries that we export spring wheat to are primarily in South Asia, the Asian countries, and we also had a very large Canadian crop. So there's really, in North America, some pretty good supplies of hard red spring wheat available.
All right, thanks for your insight today, NDSU Extension Crops economist Frayne Olson.
Since that interview, Russia announced it would resume participation in the deal, freeing up grain exports. 2 diseases, an insect and a weed, all with the potential to cause severe crop losses, are showing up, some for the first time in northeast North Dakota. The Hessian fly, water hemp, and sudden death syndrome have been found in Cavalier County. In addition, verticillium wilt is suspected in fields in Cavalier, Pembina, and Rolette counties. Sudden death syndrome is a soil-borne disease that's also spread to soybean fields in Cavalier County. Extension cropping specialist Anitha Chermamala says once it's found in the soil, it stays there and can devastate crops. She urges growers to be watchful as there's no treatment for it.
And once you know that there is a disease which is going to be a long-term one, make sure you follow the steps to help reduce or manage that disease rather than ignore it, because it's not going to go away.
She says the best control for all these diseases, insects, and weeds is good crop rotation. Coming up on AgweekTV, some colleges around the region are adding programs to meet a big need for meat cutters.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
All right, here's the free gift I got for opening up a checking account. Let's see what I got.
Okay guys, so I got this portable DVD player.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my bank would give me a tiny waffle maker.
So it's a tumbler, but it doesn't fit in any of my cup holders.
I wasn't even sure they still made these.
Is it for kids? Is this for kids?
Don't fall for the free gift. Find a bank that cares about what you really need. Cornerstone Bank.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
North Dakota's effort to promote animal agriculture is now focusing on helping existing animal operations expand. The state's anti-corporate farming law forbids corporations promoting agriculture in the state, but modern animal agriculture facilities require significant amounts of cash, limiting how much they can grow.
There's no doubt about it. It is a limit and it's a barrier. However, there are ways to get around that and to work with an attorney of sorts and create some partnerships, things like that. Wherever it is a barrier for bringing outside capital into the state to help develop some of the livestock operations.
South Dakota has seen substantial growth in dairy and hogs, but North Dakota lags behind them in animal production.
We're getting our ducks in a row. We're doing what needs to be done. We just got to hurry up. We're behind the times a little bit on this stuff.
Faison says North Dakota's animal agriculture is where South Dakota's was about 15 years ago. Several local colleges are starting meat cutting programs to help meet a big demand for workers. Jeff Beach joins us now with more on 3 new programs in our region.
The meat cutting business is desperate for more workers, in part because more people want to buy meat that's raised and processed locally. Alyssa Metzger already has a degree in culinary arts from the North Dakota State College of Science in Wahpeton, but she decided to expand her options when the school added a meat cutting program.
I'm looking more to just kind of get a broad view of everything. I want to do baking, like that's my passion, but now butchery has become something that I really like and can see a future in.
Metzger and her classmate Grace Lamberson are interning at Mannix Meat Locker in Great Bend, North Dakota.
I really like it. I like that it's way more hands-on. Like they have shown us once or twice how to do something and then it's like, cool, you're doing it now.
Steve Manick has been in the meat processing business most of his life, so he's a great teacher.
I guess I actually started in business and my dad bought it when I was 6 years old, so it's been a long time.
Shops like this are few and far between now, as fewer people go into the business, but Manick hopes these programs renew interest.
To see these young kids come in, they are just full bore today. They want to learn.
The head of the North Dakota State College of Science Ag Department says the program partners with NDSU's respected Meat Sciences Department, which has cutting equipment that they're willing to share.
NDSCS has some things that we do extremely well, train for workforce training and do things like that. NDSU has the equipment and the expertise in that particular area, so we decided why duplicate resources and work together for that.
We get about 2 calls a week for student job placement.
Fearbend is an instructor in the new program at Central Lakes College in Staples, Minnesota.
There is a huge demand for it right now.
He says shutdowns at big processing plants during COVID really drew attention to the need for smaller processors.
There wasn't really a lot of small-time meat markets out there, and especially there wasn't a lot of meat cutters out there that knew everything from start to finish.
This year, Ridgewater College in Willmar, Minnesota launched its meat cutting program as well. Jeff Miller, Dean of Instruction, says their big advantage is being mostly online, so students can be anywhere.
Our goal is to really meet students where they're at with this.
NDSCS says it can tailor a program to meet any student's needs. Dickinson State University in North Dakota and a college in Rapid City, South Dakota also plan to add programs.
Thanks, Jeff. You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Ahead on AgweekTV, the wait continues for some farmers who ordered new equipment.
For AgWeek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for watching AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with Pasture Rangeland Forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the risk management specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
As the region heads into November, how long can we expect these mild temps to last? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Weather pattern continues to favor a shift toward a wintry-looking weather pattern. The pattern shift itself is what complicates this weather forecast. Changing patterns, particularly in the shoulder seasons, fall and spring, are very difficult to forecast long range, which is the goal here, is to try and look out through the next couple of weeks. Colder weather does continue to get closer and closer. Some of the really cold weather, as in high temperatures below 10 degrees, that sometimes will drop down into the northern plains in November. I don't see too much of that, but I do think it will start getting consistently much colder. And yeah, we're talking rain and snow. The timing is, of course, the real issue, but it looks like a fair chance that we'll finally get a little precipitation into the northern plains, not necessarily enough to end the dry conditions. At the present time this weekend, starting to see low pressure trough getting carved out of the northern Rockies. The warm weather continues down in the characteristically warm places this season. Colder weather, and by that I mean some freezing weather, is dropping down into Montana, and there is some really cold weather, but it's mostly up in northwestern Canada. This configuration, jet stream going southwest to northeast, typically causes storms. Storms form in the lee of the Rockies, move northeast, have moisture to work with, so this is a potential pattern that could bring some precipitation, but the placement of the jet stream at the time the waves move out is critical. Looks like the first one early in the week will bring wet weather. The one second in the week will have a better chance to bring some snow down into places a little bit further south. As we go toward the weekend, we'll start seeing a little bit of ridging along the west coast. That's going to cause some of the coldest weather in the second week of the forecast to retreat a bit, but we will see a continuation of pretty cold weather down in through the northern plains. Of course, when I'm talking cold, that means high temperatures near to below freezing. The cool weather is warmer than that. The frigid weather is where we get some of the 0-degree stuff, and that mostly stays up north during this period. So about the precipitation now. Notice by the end of the period, we've lost that southwest to northeast flow of the jet, so the second week would generally be drier for the central part of the country. This week looks like an opportunity to get some precipitation. It will be snow further north, rain further south, could be both or a mix, or first one then the other in places like northern North Dakota into Minnesota. But there will be chances of measurable rain and of measurable snow from what looks like two weather systems coming out this week. Showers and a few thunder showers in the eastern part of the country. However, with the flow going more out of the northwest, the second week, which puts us into that full week before the Thanksgiving holiday week, the weather of the Great Plains is likely to become considerably drier as the precipitation shifts toward the east coast.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with pasture, rangeland forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the risk management specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
Why I ultimately choose them is they handled everything from the site prep, the dirt work, the gravel. The electricians were all excellent, and they're very knowledgeable in the dryer setups themselves. They made sure that they designed me a system that was expandable years into the future. It was a long-term encompassing project, and that's what I appreciate about their knowledge. I'm Ethan Hansen from Blanchard, North Dakota, and I would definitely recommend Advanced Grain for all your grain storage handling needs.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
Grain Handling Direct presents how to purchase grain storage solutions in your bathrobe. First, go to grainhandlingdirect.com. Browse our products, check prices, and add your selection to a cart. You can place your order online or call our customer service reps with any questions. We'll route your order to the manufacturer and ship it directly to your front door. grainhandlingdirect.com. Direct and simple to save you money.
As harvest wraps up, some farmers are still waiting on new equipment they ordered for this season. As Kevin Wallivan reports, they're making do with what they have as supply chain issues persist.
Outside Wyndmere today, one of the last cornfields in the area coming off. It's been perfect weather for harvest. And bouncing across dry, hard fields this fall, combines that farmers are likely hanging on to for another year.
Yeah, so I'd say on the equipment side, combines being, that's a pretty aggressive machine on the farm.
Carson Klosterman farms beets, corn, and soybeans. He and other farmers know the situation. Supply chain problems, computer chip issues, still plaguing farm equipment orders. Combines from many equipment manufacturers that farmers ordered a year ago still didn't make delivery.
They're still short, so they're still playing catch up. I've talked to some folks here that should have had new equipment for the harvest of 2022, and they still don't have it.
And it's not just the availability of farm machinery, it's the cost now. If a farmer wants a combine for 2023, look out.
And you put 20%, 25% on a $500,000 machine, them are some big numbers. And depending on what a guy's looking for, some of the larger class 9, 10 combines, and then them taking a special header for them as well, it's going to easy $1 million.
We talked with the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. They told us the delays on delivery are just one piece of the supply chain dilemma right now.
Right. I mean, I think farmers know all too well about the rising input costs for everything on the farm. Same thing goes for the manufacturer as well. Every aspect of the operation, from the manufacturing standpoint of the equipment, we're seeing prices rising there also.
The big question now is whether supply chain wrinkles will be ironed out by 2023. After a couple of difficult years, the dairy industry is looking up. While people are drinking less milk, the average American is eating more dairy products like butter and cheese. For years, many people stayed away from dairy fat products because they were told it was unhealthy. They traded their butter for margarine, but some experts are saying that trend is changing.
That tide has changed recently, and while the debate is still in progress, I think that dairy consumers, that U.S. consumers are much more open to eating nutritious dairy products, particularly butter and some cheese, than even they were until a few years ago.
Still ahead, a new Ag Innovation Center is getting ready to help bring new ag technology to the market.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
All right, here's the free gift I got for opening up a checking account. Let's see what I got.
Okay guys, so I got this portable DVD player.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my bank would give me a tiny waffle maker.
So it's a tumbler, but it doesn't fit in any of my cup holders.
I wasn't even sure they still made these.
Is it for kids? Is this for kids?
Don't fall for the free gift. Find a bank that cares about what you really need. Cornerstone Bank.
Grain Handling Direct presents how to purchase grain storage solutions in your bathrobe. First, go to grainhandlingdirect.com. Browse our products, check prices, and add your selection to a cart. You can place your order online or call our customer service reps with any questions. We'll route your order to the manufacturer and ship it directly to your front door. Grainhandlingdirect.com. Direct and simple to save you money.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
Why I ultimately choose them is they handled everything from the site prep, the dirt work, the gravel. The electricians were all excellent, and they're very knowledgeable in the dryer setups themselves. They made sure that they designed me a system that was expandable years into the future. It was a long-term encompassing project, and that's what I appreciate about their knowledge. I'm Ethan Hansen from Blanchard, North Dakota, and I would definitely recommend Advanced Grain for all your grain storage handling needs.
The Ag Innovation Campus near Crookston, Minnesota is taking shape. The building that'll house oilseed crushing equipment is done, and the grain handling equipment is being installed. The plant will crush about 3 million bushels of soybeans a year. Besides the crush plant, the $20 million project will help introduce new technologies and crops to the market, helping them from university research to commercialization.
This will be a shining example of what agriculture can be in the future. And it's important that we invest in tomorrow, today. And that's what this project is all about.
The facility is being paid for with loans, private industry, and soybean checkoff dollars. It's expected to start test runs in March and begin accepting soybeans by next summer. The plant's production will be sold to a variety of new livestock and poultry operations in the area. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. Minnesota regulators will have to determine the scope of environmental review for carbon pipelines. And at the International Durum Forum, growers learned that the outlook for pasta sales is remaining strong. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a great week.